Everybody's so different, right? Everybody's different. We're all different people. We're all different energies. So Tommy Pickles is very different. Tommy Pickles sort of talks like this, and he's right here, and then you're like, Buttercup is like this. So how on earth would I ever confuse these two people, because they have such specific souls and points of view, and every voice character is a different person. Oh my God.
Hey, Dr. Bill here. So I'm super duper, not just super, but super duper excited about our next guest, because she is going to be the bomb. I've known her for a long time. E.G. Daily has been coming to LEAP as a mentor. Let's get started. So we have E.G. Daily here. Now, she is legendary indeed, and she's a successful triple threat as an actor, a voiceover artist, and a singer-songwriter. And you may have seen her on that popular TV show, The Voice.
Oh, right. That's right.
She did
I was
do
on
that.
The Voice.
Yes, she was. You also know her as Tommy Pickles from Rugrats.
That's Tommy Pickles in the house.
And Buttercup from the Powerpuff
That's right.
Girls.
Buttercup is in the building. Better watch out.
And she had #1 dance hits and was featured in numerous iconic films such as Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Valley Girl, and the project you're doing right now sounds so exciting.
Yeah, it's so great. I'm doing a new project we're gonna start recording, but it's called Nubbin and Friends, and there's an amazing cast, and I'm one of the producers on it with my friend Charles West, who's just this brilliant animator from Atlanta. So he's just like this amazing talent of himself, and so he's created this show called Nubbin and Friends, and I play Nubbin, but I'm also a producer on the project. So I'm really excited about it. There's a lot of really big, there's a lot of A-list people working on it.
That's awesome.
It's really cool.
I have to tell you, I am so enamored with your profession. Yeah. How do you even start to do what you do?
Well, I didn't even really think ever that I was going to be doing that. I was sort of just like doing my acting and my music and writing songs and being in bands, and then I did a play. I chose to do this play called Tansy, and then in this particular play I had to go, it was about a female wrestler. So each round of the play I was a different age. So the first round I was like, like a baby, like that. I did things like that. And then the next stage I was like 5, like, I'm Tansy. And then I was 6, and I was 10, and I was 15-year-old, and I was an adult woman. And so because I did all these different voices, which to me was like, I didn't even think anything of it. To me, it was very second nature.
Did you do this like as a kid,
yes,
growing
I did.
up?
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I ended up getting a major record deal from that play because I did all these voices. But really, where it started was my first voiceover audition was for this little boy. My first audition that was for this little boy, and they showed me a claymation. They were like, can you do the voice for this kid? And I was like, I'd never done a voiceover, so I was like, well, I guess. And then I remembered when I was a little girl, I used to do this voice, which was like with my best friend, and we'd walk around the playground holding hands, and I'd be like, oh, Michelle, do you think we should go have some water? Do you think maybe we should go play with Farshid? It was just this endless little conversation. I realized that voice fit this little claymation, and then Tommy Pickles was born.
See, and what most people don't realize is that most of the cartoon boys' voices you hear are from grown women.
That's right, because we don't have puberty.
That's right. You do, but it's a little different.
No, but boys, once you're an adult woman, you're going to have boy puberty, but boys have puberty, so they hire a boy to do a voice, and then suddenly they go from being like, oh, Mom, what's happening? And then they start cracking, and you're like, they need you to come in, and I do their job.
Yeah, it's utterly amazing what you do. So you start doing these voices. How do you, I could do like a funny voice, but to do it repetitively over, how do you access that? How do you know that every time you're going to be Tommy Pickles, you sound like Tommy Pickles?
Well, it's like, how do you know that you're not so different from, let's say, him or her or my assistant, or everybody's so different, right? Everybody's different. We're all different people. We're all different energies. So Tommy Pickles is very different. Tommy Pickles sort of talks like this, and he's right here, and then you're like, Buttercup is like this. So how on earth would I ever confuse these two people, because they have such specific souls and points of view, and every voice character is a different person. So it's not,
Okay,
you
that's
can't
why
mix them up.
you're famous and I'm just a dentist.
Voiceover is most people that are in voiceover. Okay, I started writing this book, right? And what I did was I interviewed a lot of the really big, famous voice people, like all my buddies that I work with, like the top cream of the crop voiceover people. And I asked them all this one question, like, how did you break into voiceover? And the really ironic thing was 99% of them weren't trying to be voiceover stars. Like 98% were like, well, I was trying to be a comedian. I was at this wedding or I was a wedding singer and suddenly I did this voice and somebody came up to me and said, here, you want to do voiceover? Or I was a comedian, or I was talking in line at a movie and somebody heard me. Like most of the voice people, it was not something they planned to do. It was just something that they were just at the right place at the right time, but they just happened to have everything in alignment. Like you have to be a great actor to be a voiceover actor.
Right,
you have to be. But most of the people that were like the big voiceover stars, none of them did it by a regular audition. It was always like their career broke in some magical way, which is why I always tell people, follow your desire, like doing these really strange little projects, or you feel a desire to do something, like follow that, because you never know, doing this play that I did ended up getting me this voiceover agent, which ended up getting me a major record deal, which ended up, I fell in love with someone. It's like doing things that you love and the things that matter to you, those are the things that are going to get you your heart's desire. Like not what you think, not if I just like it's all nose to the grindstone, linear. It's not all linear.
I mean, let's back up, because like I know when I was requested to do voiceovers, I didn't just want to go in there and be bad. So I actually took some workshops. I actually worked with a coach, which really helped a lot.
Yeah.
So if somebody out there is interested in doing voiceovers, where would they start? I mean, I don't know, because this was years ago, but like, where are the best places to take a class and to learn?
The best places to take a class I would say there's some things online, there's like, there's so many amazingly talented people out there. There's like Dee Baker, there's different courses you can take, Kalmanson's for radio and TV. There's like, I have a voiceover seminar that's so easy. You go online, you go to egdaily.com, you scroll to where it says voiceover seminar. And what I did in my seminar was I filmed it in front of a live audience and I just gave the basics, tips, tools, how-tos, how to get an agent, how to get your reel going. I just literally just did the basics on everything. And so literally online, you could literally just turn on the television and start listening to radio and TV commercials and be like, oh, I hear how they do that. You could listen to like, tonight on Fox, Family Matters, will she get the boy coming up next? You can hear the patterns and the promos that go on between television shows. You could go on and sit in your car and listen to radio commercials. If you go to talk radio, there's a lot of different commercials. You could start hearing like, Lexus cars, or you could hear different tones and different patterns. I would say like you could literally do classes without paying for classes just by listening to the TV, watching TV, listening to the radio.
What was your most challenging voice to do in your career?
I would say there were two. One was Froggy from the Little Rascals, when they called me to redo the boy's voice and the live action Little Rascals for Froggy. He was like this little scrappy boy, but they needed his voice to be more like, what's the high sign, Petey? So I came in, which was like a retching voice, but my voice is pretty strong, so I'm able to play with it. So I would say that Froggy, and then I had to do a movie called Lorenzo's Oil that was directed by George Miller, about a boy that was sick, and George Miller did Mad Max and he did Babe. I worked with him on Babe 2, I worked with him on Happy Feet 1 and 2. That particular job was Lorenzo's Oil was about a sick boy, and so what they did was they had me in this giant sound stage and they lied me on the floor and the screen was covering the wall and they put a mic like down there by my face as I was lying on the floor, and then George Miller, the director, would come over and start pouncing on my middle, like on my rib cage and on my stomach, so that I would get this convulsive sort of sound that they needed for this boy. So it was like a because he was like convulsing, and so that was an interesting. And there were times where I'd be standing up in front of George, sitting there, and then George would put his hands around my rib cage, and I'm pretty small, and he would be squishing my rib cage like that.
And you're like black and blue.
And literally he'd be like, your ribs are cracking. I'm like, hello, you're squeezing my ribs there, George. But That was incredible. Those two were a little more taxing, and games. You do a lot of games. There's a lot of screaming. Like I did Diz on Starship Troopers, and there was a lot of like, man the fort, it's like all this like intense like screaming. So those can be taxing, but again, our voices are pretty used to it.
So let's kind of break it down. So so you take a few courses, and then you're going to put together like a little demo reel.
You're going to do a reel,
and then you're going to try and find an agent.
Yeah.
And then what happens with the agent is your agent will send you to a studio. I used to go to the one over here on Olympic, and he'll give you. My agent gave me like 7 or 8 different things, and you sit there and you study it, and when you're ready, you go into a little sound booth and you do it with the sound guy.
Yeah.
And
for the actual auditions you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, then once you have an agent, then they call you in, or you have, nowadays more people have their own little booths.
And they do it at home.
And you can do it really easily. You can get a tiny little mic stand and a tiny little portable like muffing kind of little setup. There's so many new things now. Literally there's a microphone, it's a Shure mic, it's this big, and it has a little tiny round dust, breath thingy. And it's so tiny, and it literally plugs into your iPhone, and then you get an app called Twisted Wave, and you could just plug it into your phone, and you could do auditions from your phone in your car if you're like, you're on a booth. The mic is so incredible. It's a Shure mic. It's tiny. Just Google it, and it's like a tiny phone little microphone. It's so accessible now. It is so easy to make this happen for yourself. Plus, there's websites like voices.com or some of the websites where you can actually just submit yourself for auditions before you even get an agent and see how that goes and start practicing your auditions. There's so many ways to make it happen in voiceover.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's coming up next for EG? You told me a little bit about this project.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this Nubbin and Friends project because not only do I think the people involved are so unbelievably talented. I mean, this Charles West guy is like, he's like the Walt Disney.
Well, and where will we be able to see it?
It's going to probably in November. I mean, I would say in November, and they'll probably do some specials and stuff, but it's going to launch. And like I said, it's got a lot of A-list actors that are involved in it, and a lot of A-list actors want to do voiceover, and I love that. So
well, a lot of them get voiceovers. I mean, all of the big, Disney films and all that, they're hiring A-list actors.
And they have kids, they want to do it. Like they want to do cartoons for their kids.
Oh yeah.
So I would say Nubbin and Friends to look out for. I also been doing some more Curious George. I do the voice of Steve. I've been doing a lot of some different film projects too. Like besides even just the voice work, a lot of different film work. I'm working on getting some other new on-camera film stuff. I'm actually really excited about getting some more new acting work now at this point in my life, at this age, like mom stuff. And I mean, it just seems like that's the kind of stuff I'm getting, and I'm excited about that because I'm a mom and I just have so much more depth in that area. So that's really cool. I was just in Nashville writing some new songs for some soundtracks.
Cool.
And so we recorded there. I produced with this partner of mine, Tim Miner, who's super talented. So I'm sort of still doing what I always do, which is some music, some acting, some voice work. Now I'm launching into more producing. And also just educating and speaking on things that matter. Yeah.
Thanks.
And my top goal of all of it is my animal rescue and fostering. If you guys go to my website, I have a page called For the Animals, and
give them the website again, and we'll put it on.
It's just www.egdaily.com. EG Daily spelled D-A-I-L-Y, like daily news. Eat your vitamins daily. Anyway,
and
so
you
that's
know what EG stands for?
Extra girly. Or it stands for extra goodness, or it stands for electric giraffe, or whatever you want. Yeah, so I would just go to the website. It's really fun. My Instagram is right there on that page because that's the most current stuff. I'm always planning some. Go follow me on Instagram, you guys. It's so much fun. I post a lot of fun stuff. So come follow me there. And that's where you're going to find the voiceover seminar if you're interested. You're going to find just updates of what's coming up for me right now. And again, you'll also go check out my animal page. We're supposed to be the voice. More importantly, I'm the voice for a lot of animals. So I try to be, try to make what I do with my work matter for a much bigger scale, which is like I'm in love with animals and I'll do anything for them. So that's me.
I think being the voice of animals is cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, that wraps another great Meet the Mentor session. Dr. Bill saying goodbye. Buttercup, say goodbye.
Buttercup here, leaving you guys. Watch out. Go go to my website and say hi to me. And this is Buttercup signing off, or I'm going to whoop your hiney.
Leap.
Oh my God,
Leap ahead.
Don't forget to go to the Leap. You guys, you've got to check it out. Every time I go there, I'm so blown away by all the people they have there, all the visitors. And I would just say it's really important for you to learn some new things from people that you really love.
Yeah. E.G., thank you. You're awesome.
Yay.
All right. Till next week. See you guys later.